Paradigm first pick this time around. Allied, when you're playing these games, do you prefer first or second pick?
I mean, it really depends on our strategy at the time, and like it depends on the team going against. I think just because of Cyclone Spin, 9 times out of 10 would be like, oh well, we could always go second pick because that guarantees, and for most teams, it guarantees the counter pick in solo. I mean, I think that is the go-to, because like if you're first pick, you have to kind of flex pick around solo, but if you're second pick, well, it's like kind of do whatever you want. But I mean, it also depends on the strategies of running at the time, because there's been times where it's like we have Cyclone and we still get first pick. I like it.
Awesome. Well, strategies coming out already. Ares and Ymir banned out. Sort of a throwback to the World Championships as we see Paradigm taking those away from London Conspiracy. Giannis and Kabrakan banned out across the way by the boys of London Conspiracy. And now it's first pick time for Paradigm. What are you expecting here, After?
I mean, well, I just want to comment on the ban real quick before I get into that. Kabrakan, Kivo Fred, has all, like, in the past 3-4 weeks, has just made a statement saying, I'm going to play this god, and this is what I'm going to do. Enough that makes LC ban it out, and Serket is going to be picked in its place. Now, this is a character that I don't really equivocate to Kivo Fred, honestly.
I mean, he has played quite a lot of the circuit, but in the current meta as well, in the current meta, the circuit's kind of drifted off being that first pick, first ban mentality. Is there a reason for that from the pro scene that you guys have seen in North America?
I think a lot of people are starting to realize that even though Circuit is strong, she's not the, more junglers are starting to be initiators for their team instead of the supports, because, well, it is nice having a support initiate the fight for you. Gotta remember, they barely have any items.
Yeah, and then you're going to need somebody else to go in with them as well.
Yeah.
But Sylvanas locked in for that initiation, which we were just discussing there. A lot of Conspiracy did look in that Agni and Apollo, so already setting up their main roster lineups for the damage dealers for this team.
I do like this Sylvanas pickup. I'm surprised there wasn't Sylvanas picked up last set, but the Sylvanas now is going to staying for the team, a guaranteed, depending on the dual lane composition, but it's a guaranteed 1 lane and the on her to seal the deal. This is gold fear control, early game presence. Mid harpy fights are definitely a thing to do here, and the gold fear side of the map for Paradigm should be strong.
I mean, you can see as well, one thing that the pros actually talk about that I've heard after listening to some of you guys is that Anher very good in the early game for the jungle control too, just because of the impale in the jungle. It allows you to do those team fights around the jungle, around the Gold Fury and the the mid harpies like you were saying.
One pillar stun can change a game, especially for Gold Fury, especially with the builds being wonky as it is now. Lifesteal is hard to come by. I mean, it's like you don't get Aussie done until a little bit later now, and it's even then the attack speed's nerfed. Devo gloves is 75 stacks. You don't get the stacks as easily as you did before. So any kind of like burst damage coming out, especially out of an on her, you're probably dead.
London Conspiracy takes both Agni and Ra away from Lobster. Two of Lobster's more iconic gods. One of the longer playing players in the SPL. So we'll see where that leaves Lobster choosing. A lot of choices as well, but that's really what's sticking out to me right now. They don't want Lobster playing what Lobster plays.
Well, on top of that, if they do get the Ra as well in the mid lane, they've got such a great sustain composition with Ra and Sylvanas on the side.
True.
And with the comp they've lined up here, Geb doesn't really want to get Weaken and Curse. He's gonna want to get Blink.
It's almost mandatory.
It forces you to solo lane to get in that lane, right?
John
gets picked up for the mid lane. We saw a little bit out of Eager this season as well.
I like
with
this.
the Sylvanas pickup, we know it's not going to be support like AFK likes to play.
Well, I see. Shout out to Econ. But I do like the Zhang Kui pickup. He locked in immediately after Humbats was chosen, knowing that there was no potential of counterpicking. Or, like, there's not much Humbats can actually do. I mean, you could obviously CC him and set him up for a kill, but Zhang Kui not only does excel versus Agni because he can sustain in lane and even bully out Agni, but he has an explosive team fight. So knowing the right time and situation to pick Zhang Kui is the signs of a great move.
And one thing to know about that as well is that this side of Paradigm here, there's 3 gods with protections, extra protections for themselves. Jean-Qui gives it himself because of his passive. Vermana with his ultimate gets protections. And then Sylvanas with the wisps, it does give protections too, which a lot of people underestimate. And it's not just the heal, it's protections as well.
Oh yeah, protections are a big deal, especially in Season 2. It's all about health stacking, how you can stack health effectively while getting your damage out there, while getting damage items done, and doing it to complement your early, mid, and late game. So Zhang Kui should fit that very well, and the Mana last pick, that's a scary team.
So do we see a chin size on Apollo?
Chin size? Yeah, I mean, nerf the gold on it.
But where is Apollo going to go? Because right now he's going to be, it looks like it's Neef in the solo lane. Apollo will be the AD carry this time around, played by Shaggy Shank on Apollo. And that's exactly why they did the raw ban as well. I mean, the raw ban came out, and it was because they were looking at picking that Hunter in the solo lane. They couldn't afford to get a weakening curse anywhere.
It looks like London Conspiracy team comp plans are Humbat's going to go around, do monkey things, ult people, etc. And Snakeskin is going to help out from afar, while Arrow and Suntouch are looking to kind of get that early game skirmishes under control, possibly an explosive mid-Harpy fight. I mean, if you look at it, compared to V2s, they could have the potential upper hand, killing Surcat or Zhonghui for mid-Harpies. It really comes down to Paradigm's play here.
Would you invade his Paradigm here? I mean, we've got Zaylee with Heavy Hammer. He's picked that one up at the beginning. And you're against a Neath in lane. Is it worth trying to risk and go for the invade? Would you guys go for that as AFK?
You could. I would. It would definitely be like an early ward. It could very easily be turned as well. I mean, Neath's root does a lot of base damage. You don't really, like, if you get caught with that on top of Humbat's, let's say he gets jump level 1, or like he gets a lucky crit. A lucky crit means curtain. But I think it's safer. Go for just the standard start, because you got to look at it this way. Vamana scales fairly well. Surcat is a monster. Like, she scales amazingly. One of the jungle late game carries, being able to two-shot people. So no point of actually invading on her. Let's just farm it out. Let's get the picks going. Let's Well,
with that Frostbound hammer, that Heavy Hammer that he's picked up, that goes into Frostbound F dot, and that's going to really work out against this, 380 carries to an extent composition.
Tons of health on that item. We'll see a little more standard come out of London Conspiracy and Paradigm this time around, sending their junglers to the soul lane first, rather than the start that we saw in our first match of the day, which sent their junglers to the mid lane. A much, much different start coming out of Titan.
This is a quick rotation.
Devo Fred's going to find no one.
That was timing.
As Arrow dashes just out of the way.
It was good timing from Arrow there. He could have got himself caught out of position, but he seemed to know exactly the moment when we were going to be seeing him rotate into the lane there.
Team communication.
No wards even. Yeah, it's just
with no wards. I mean, he's like, how do you know that? He's just like, well, he just called it, now he's literally left lane, so you just count in your head? Is that what you do?
I mean, it really comes down to your team communication, and also, if you don't see the jungler from soul lane, I mean, every jungler starts on the soul lane side. If he's not there anymore, I'm hitting the tower. I think that's every mid laner's point of view when looking at that.
A bit of invades coming out still on the side of Cuvo. Fred's actually seeing away both back Harpies here. Might get himself caught a little bit out of position because Neath is overextended here, and she could just rotate back in.
It was actually fun as Suntouch is forced to take only one Harpy that was left up by Cuvo Fred. We saw it invade on the back Harpies of Paradigm, but Zhonghui's just sheer presence throughout the card and was able to force out the enemy jungler. So really no aggression that London wanted there. Lobster just being too present.
So talk to me about mid Harpies here, Allied. Which team would you be favoring? Would you be looking to fight if you're one of these teams, or would you just be looking to farm?
It's going to come down to Cubo Fred, 100%. Suntouch, cheeky play. You take my back Harpies, I'm taking yours, pal. And now it's going to reset, but it's going to come down to Cubo Fred, honestly. Surcat can go hit or miss for these mid-Harpy fights. Depends on how well he initiates, pokes out the enemy mid laner or jungler, and sets up. Because not only do you have to initiate and start these fights as Surcat when you're so squishy, but you also have to bait as well with your mobility, setting up the play for Lobster.
That's the thing, I guess, with this first mid-Harpy fight, is the fact that Paradigm's team fight in the mid-Harpies isn't going to be that strong, really. I mean, they've got Sylvanas, but he won't hit 5 unless he gets the Harpies.
You have to compare
there's not much CC.
You have to compare it to Surcat's burst damage and small CC compared to Humbat's ult.
Taking a look at this long lane right here. The jump in from Funball is going to be predicted and dashed away by Shaggy Shank using the moves. Right-hand mid-Harpies do spawn. They go the way, well, pause that thought. They go the way of London Conspiracy. Fear No Evil is used, but not for the aggression, just for the objective of the Harpies. So we'll see the purple team go ahead and pick them up, no problem.
The left one's still alive, though, at the moment, and now you're going to see the opportunity for Paradigm to just swing in here, pick these up uncontested. So a 1-for-1 trade in a Humbat Soul. Okay, it's not the best in the world, but at least you went even.
I think there's nothing wrong with going even. They both have fairly late game comps. I mean, double 80 carry, and they have Vamana late game, Surcat late game. They have a lot of it's not like purely early game based. There's no reason to look out for kills at this point. You play it safe. We'll
just
go for a better
wait for the team to make the mistake, basically. Is that kind of catch someone out of position?
That's what a lot of SPL games come down to. It's also the nerves at this point. I mean, London Conspiracy, they want to go to LAN.
They both do, yeah.
So it's definitely, let's see how this one plays out.
Suntouch tried to make a play on the left-hand side, spotted out on the ward, and Paradigm just retreated very hard enough for London Conspiracy to know that he's warded out over there. No plays happening in the long lane because of it. So SunTouch will come to the mid, take a wave, and just head back into his jungle.
I love the call from Xaylia here. He's gone straight into the full Frostbound Hammer. It's going to give him the attack speed debuff as well as the extra health from that item too, which we put on. I believe it's 400 health you get on that.
Oh, it's
and the slow.
Crazy amount of health. The slow is amazing. And also you can go into, like, because that's so much base health, you can go into a Runeforge Hammer to double stack with your passive, into even a Midgardian Mail, and just complete, that's it. Hunters can't attack you anymore. You're invincible.
A lot of pressure on the left-hand side as the purple buff is available for London Conspiracy, but the lane being pushing as you expect from a Sylvanas and her versus an Apollo Geb. So I wonder if they're going to swing around for the purple eventually or just wait patiently for the opportunity. Nope, just going to give it up for now.
I do like the fact that on her went for Heartseeker this early. I think you're going to see a little bit more aggressive play coming out of Funballer here.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he is... last time I went against him, he was one of the more aggressive hunters I've been against in a while, like similar to that man's style of play. So I do like that he went for Heartseeker. Let's just see if he can actually translate that in, because the way the math works right now, Devo Gloves into Ickvol compared to Heartseeker to Aussie, that's once you get the Ickvol done, that's a significant DPS increase. You're going to outpoke and outdamage anyone that has an Aussie. Yeah, an out-sustain, that's for sure.
I mean,
so,
what do you do then? Do you look for a fast Gold Fury? Is that what you're looking for with the Heartseeker sort of strat?
Kills,
Picks and kills.
Gold Fury. Yeah, there's a lot of options. It depends on how they want to play this out. I mean, looking at Trickstank, he does have Traveler's Shoes, Rush, and Watcher's Gift, but he doesn't have any kind of early blink. Hog 3 is, I think, I'm pretty sure there's no Hog 3 there.
No Hog 3 there just yet, no.
Yeah.
We do see as well that the MLZ's gone for a different, talking about the support state, because he's gone for that Wing Blade pickup, which isn't a bad idea against the slows that are coming out from Paradigm.
I get scared seeing that kind of pickup, because not only are you not getting the GP5 and the extra gold from Watcher's Gift and Traveler's Shoes, but you are significantly going to fall behind unless you get some kind of assist or extra farm compared to a Watcher's Gift.
SunTouch caught out in the middle. Going to drop the ultimate, but really to no avail. Lobster stunned out just a little bit, and SunTouch the target, but all of a sudden London Conspiracy has the numbers as opposed to Paradigm. Damage comes out from the ultimate from the Wrath of Terra, and Big Baby is good. Emilzy, one more shot. Is it good enough? Do you have it, Xaylia? Does not look like it. He's going to chase for it, and he gets it underneath the enemy tower for first blood, going the way of the newly named Paradigm.
Great pull. But can they find the actual continuation of that? No, they will not. Good route in response coming out there from Snakeskin, but they won't find any more. One thing to note about that, F-Dub, Xaylia dropped his ultimate to make sure he could continue the chase after getting the attack speed slow to confirm the damage. Really good first pickup for Paradigm. It's a good sign early on, especially getting onto a Vamana.
Oh yeah, Vamana with first blood, especially with that build, that is going to be very hard. Especially knowing the fact that, well, he's probably going to get more attack speed buff items. He's probably going to be even more tanky to deal with those kind of situations. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good look for Xaylia right now.
Oh, good look for Xaylia. He's actually got Tier 2 boots now online as well to go with after that rotation. And he's starting to go in Paradigm's way ever so slightly here. We're looking at just under a 2k gold lead. I'm not so sure on the experience there. How much are we at? 2k there as well.
Just about. Paradigm looking very, very strong right now.
Is it a Gold Fury attempt?
Early moments of this game. The Conspiracy is looking like they want to make sure it's not Gold Fury time, but since only Trickstank is here, they're going to go ahead and start it, see what the deal is, but they're staying local.
That's good from Trix, though, because Paradigm have had that issue at the start of the season with their Gold Fury control early on. You can see Trix getting himself in position, but he's going to get engaged on.
Blinked in, and the ultimate coming out on a Trickstank. Blocked out is going to be good, but the kill goes anyway.
2 clean kills.
SunTouch also picks up
London
Cubo
Conspiracy basically said, stop looking at me.
Well,
that was it.
Well, it looks like the boys at Paradigm are done. They want to make sure they stop looking at them right now. And the aggression comes out from Funballer, but he's now in trouble after using that leap. They're going to go in for him, but on the front line, Lobster's going to find a kill with a fantastic stunt. They're all low, but so is Funballer. The juke boots. Emilzy chasing him down. Can't confirm the kill.
Oh, don't forget. Emilzy might have forgotten right there as Lobster picks up his second kill. On her is going Heartseeker. He doesn't have the Devo Glove sustain that you would expect him to have. Geb might have been able to get that kill.
I don't think he didn't have any mana for Shockwave, though, so he had to punch him. And
That's
the
what it
mobility
is.
wasn't going to be enough for him to get there.
That
So
was cheeky. And
That was very. I love the
Paradigm actually
juke.
picks up Goal Fury off that. That aggressive on her jump in and the damage he kind of put out there. That's what we're talking about.
You guys,
Heartseeker.
exactly. You guys asked. I think it was Hitterman. Hitterman posed the question: is Funball like? Is he aggressive? Well, he jumped 1v4.
Yeah, that
and
was
just threw the ultimate.
Shout out to that, man.
on the side of Paradigm as well, though, Funballer this season, he's got a lot of stick. People see him as the weakest member of the team, but like, listen to like some of the pros talk about him. He's an aggressive hunter. He does his role, and you saw him there. Just Lobster and him fought 4v2.
Yeah.
And then got their team a goal for you off the back of a fantastic engage from London Conspiracy that set them up really well early.
I love it. Tricks Tank, though, the subject right now, uses the ultimate to avoid the stun from
That was
Agni.
hot.
It's not, that wasn't a bad Cataclysm. He didn't stun anybody, but the CC immunity is what he was looking for.
To make sure he didn't get stunned from the rotation from Aero coming in. The blink from Aero was great, though. That was a hot blink as well. I was like, woo, we're in for a good game here. I mean, this goes 1-1 F dot, we get another game.
That's very, very true. Paradigm coming out recently, starting their new brand, Trig. Renamed to Paradigm, now owned by Zimstar. Just like we saw Eager come in really wanting to make a name for themselves, Paradigm as well. They're a brand new brand, and it's their own. They're really trying to make a name for themselves, really want to take this one home.
They're really looking to push down deep here. Zalia gave the game away a little bit early here, but he's actually going to just force Snakeskin back, and that should cost him a whole minion wave in that right-hand lane.
Yeah. I mean, right now, so now we see that Funballer off that Goal Fury. He does have Aussie done, will get into boots. And Apollo doesn't even have...
Funballer's up for this.
What a pillar stun. But Apollo doesn't even have boots done, which means that he's not going to get that nice Ickvol timing to power spike. And he's going to have the lead for these fights. But what a beautiful engagement here.
Still aggressive. Cubo Fred is going to take the kill on the Arrow. And Funball graciously blocks the Neath ultimate. That would have put Cubo Fred way too low to do much of anything. Suntouch is here. Look for him to jump over the wall and drop the Fear No Evil. He does have it up, but gonna play it safe.
He's alone, though. I mean, the Geb can't really do much. Mills, he can't really come in. He's not going to get damage down to kill them all, especially when there is a small lead for Paradigm here. So it's better to save that air on the side of caution in these situations and not, potentially throw the game to an extent with a crazy play.
As you said, London Conspiracy and Paradigm both fighting for a land spot. Winner of this will take the land. If they tie, they'll have to go to a tiebreaker game to see who goes to the land. So in order to be in this situation, these teams have had to play well. So just smart decision-making coming out from Suntouch, showing why his team is in the position they're in.
What is Funballer on today? How does he even be like this at late before? He's super aggressive all the time. I mean, you said he was aggressive anyway, Alan, but
look at that
I've not seen him
damage.
this aggressive before. He's going in 4v2s. He's then trying to taunt his lane opponent in Shaggy Shank to try and bait him into a fight.
See, that's what you say. For me, this is the Funball I have seen forever. He's always been this in-your-face player, cheeky player. Going back to a little history lesson, they created Exposed Secrets.
Exposed Secrets.
Which originally was called Team Kicked. For everybody that's been kicked from a team for XYZ reason. So for me, this is the Funballer I've always known and loved.
Well, at the moment, he's doing great for himself in this game. He's 0-0-2, though, but with his itemization right now, what he's done for the team, he's put them in a really strong spot. Lobster, though, silent assassin in the midline, involving every single kill.
Jean-Qui is Bay.
That Warlock Sash is nearly finished, too.
Yeah, I mean, Jean-Qui has been in every single fight, and that all has not only gone off multiple times, but Lobster's not dead for once. He's 2-0-2. Putting out the work, and I'm a fan. I think the Jean-Qui pick was beautiful, waited for the right timing to pick it, and it complements his team really well.
Well, they're going to get right on Harpies here, but talking back to what you were saying about the Jean-Qui pick, do you reckon that's why they picked Circuit first? Because Circuit's very good against Jean-Qui for shutting him down with, the sustain that he can put out.
Well,
and potentially burst him.
that is a reason, but I think, another one is, Circuit is also Bay. She's just good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a Circuit first pick.
I know where you are.
Funballer's on his game today. Like, he's not scared to look at this. He's going to go round. He knows his free weapons. Just going to put a cheeky poke out here.
That's the Funball I know. That is what Funball does. And he gets in your head the way a good player should. And I have a feeling that Paradigm right now has set the table. We'll see where they take it.
This is just abuse from Paradigm here. They will find the kill more than likely after Snakeskin.
He's dead.
But it's a trade 1-for-1. A good route coming out from Snakeskin to make that a 1-for-1 trade. I like the play from Paradigm, though. The Gold Fury's still down. 3 men shown on the left-hand side. Let's abuse right-hand side and try and find a kill.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good play. It's really unfortunate that Cubo Fred missed the auto attack there to guarantee, but he did get rooted anyway. He was probably going to die. But like you were mentioning before, F. Dot, how it does get in your head. And knowing, oh, we actually see an ultimate coming out
That's
of
a really
Humbats.
good Fear No Evil. I don't think it's going to be enough to kill Zaylee. He's still got ultimate available, though.
Should be
Frostbound
okay.
and Runeforged. Sorry.
It's
You're not going to do it.
Going to be a big ass for him. It's a nice little play from Suntouch, though. Just not going to find enough damage for it. And now that'll be shouted out to the team as well. But go back to your point, Aled, about what you were saying.
So you mentioned before about mind games, and that's probably the biggest mind game of them all. When the hunter knows that he has full control of his side of the jungle, can go up and poke a failed gank attempt, it's probably the most frustrating thing for any player to deal with, because that basically means this is my territory. You don't come back.
The door's closed.
Yeah.
There's no more ganks available for you to go and take.
I'll tell you what is available. The Gold Fury is up right now, and Mills, he's trying to get in here to contest this one. Bombs drop down by Aero, do some decent damage, but once again, Cuvo goes aggressive, forcing away. Now Millsy is isolated.
Millsy's stuck in the middle. Zalia gets the kill. Shaggy Shank dropping down from the side, and the two teams are
Wisps.
split. We do have London Conspiracy, only 4 members strong, sort of retreating. Paradigm still has all 5, but there's a little bit of damage on those 5 health bars. So
This won't happen now. There's no ultimates for either team here. It's one of those situations like, did they use everything? Yeah, but so did we.
Suntouch still has Fear No
What did we
Evil,
do?
which is the big
Oh, that just
one
came back up.
for
That
LC.
literally just came back up after. So this could be a bad mistake from Paradigm and give London Conspiracy a way back in here.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like Suntouch's Fear No Evils have actually been a little bit weak here, but he's actually going around now. There's the
Fumble
he
catches
jumps
it.
into him. The jump into him actually scared Suntouch away. That's a defensive Fear No Evil. As he is going on the back line,
Yeah,
Zalia is
Shaggy's
forced
dead.
to dash away, and Funballer gets a kill onto
the
Shaggy
pillar
Shank.
from Funballer just sets up Cuvo to secure the second in that engagement, and that will be the Gold Fury going over to Trig. Sorry, to Paradigm. I'm going to get that a few times today. Unless Millsy's going to try and make a play, which it doesn't look like he's going to go for.
Funball is setting this game up. Every single time Funball is introducing himself into a fight, big things are happening.
I mean, he's a madman. Who sees a Humbats flanking like that and jumps into him like, give me a hug?
Yep.
Like, I just... And not only that, Suntouch got intimidated, went to the back line, defensive Fear No Evil, and then now they're doing the peel game again. It's
And that's the
crazy.
result. We sit here in the casting booth and talk about mind games and getting in your head a lot. Well, right there, that is the tangibility of getting in the head. Nobody was chasing Suntouch. They left the monkey alone, but because he didn't want to turn around and chance it, he drops the Fear No Evil, expecting the aggression, because Funball and the rest of his team have told London Conspiracy, we're always going to chase you. So the one time they don't, London Conspiracy thinks they're chasing, drops the ultimate anyway, hits 0 people. It hit the Gold Fury.
Well,
So,
I mean, you can't like fail Suntouch for that choice. It was the only choice he had in the situation.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
It's like
Yeah,
defensive ult, try and get away.
He did what he had to do.
Yeah, and that's just a sign of how the game's been played out so far. I mean, when you get spotted trying to come around the back of a team, and then you're like, oh crap, they know where I am. You
that's the
expect to be
worst feeling.
focused.
you
know?
jump, you sprint, you drop everything, and
the
you
worst
run.
feeling.
Especially after the team has sort of set the gist of we're always going to chase. The one time they don't, well, London Conspiracy spends their resources, think they're being
Well, that's
chased anyway.
2 Gold Furies now after as well, so that's just going to extend the lead even further. Funballer quite happy to go aggressive, and now Cuvo comes in with the shield already down. What can MLZ do? Well, the Cataclysm comes out, but on the backside, Shaggy got bursted down by the full combo of Cuvo. And Across the Skies does not save the day.
Not enough HP on much of anybody, but Arrow's here. He's going to stun out Trickstank, who was looking for the pull. Fear No Evil is good, but beads are better, and Serket will find the exit on the eastern side of the fight. Meanwhile, Lobster still looking for more. Gets a little bit of damage onto Arrow, but he'll find safety underneath the tower. Funball and Trickstank want to change that. No Ollie Oxen free for you. Arrow falls down to the Honor. King of the jungle for sure. Funball very, very low HP, but still fighting. The Aussie, not good enough. Suntouch falls with help from Lobster.
So they do trade out 3 for 1 in Funballer going down there. They don't get the tower either. The dive was for more kills there than anything, right? I like it. It's just like that. For me, it didn't really feel like I was going to give him anything by doing that.
I mean...
If they clean them all up and Funballer lives, I guess they get a tower.
Just set
Yeah,
the pace.
I think I would have liked to see Funball kind of run away there a little bit before instead of
Funball
auto
doesn't
attacking.
run.
But you know what? when you're making the plays like that, I probably would have done the same thing if I was, feeling myself like that. So, but they actually don't really get an objective off of that. So, I mean, it was just a couple kills going their way, but it's 11-4.
Zaylee's dead.
It's looking good.
Wow, I'm surprised we saw the backflip come out of Snakeskin then, because they
Low
quite
mana.
low mana as well.
Very low mana.
So you could have potentially gone for a little bit more. I guess against Runeforge. We said this earlier, Runeforge Heavy Hammer is going to be a bit difficult to try and bring him down, I suppose.
Just a little bit. Paradigm after a great fight in the left-hand
Oh,
side,
Cuvo.
leading very, very strong. Fear No
These
Evil.
Humbat's ults have been all not only defensive, but very poorly placed, and it's really determining a lot of these team fights. They're not the initiating, I'm going to disrupt them.
Yeah.
It's more of like, they're initiating on us, I'm going to throw them out there. Yeah, they're very zony, and I just don't feel it bringing that much of an impact, especially in these fights. I mean, he threw it out there defensively on just Circuit 1v3. He should have maybe held it there a little bit longer. But, yeah, I mean, it could be also lack of vision, and Circuit is doing the things right now.
3 levels higher.
Yeah, that's huge.
I think that's really where it's coming from.
I think a lot of that comes down to the mid-camp control and the 2 Gold Furies that they've got on the side of Paradigm too. I don't think it's necessarily down to Suntouch underfarming this. I think it's more the mid-camp control has just pushed them to a side to an extent. Paradigm controlling them so much this game.
It's actually interesting right here. Suntouch started what could be most likely a Heartseer Transcendence, Hydra's Lament even. He just starts it and then immediately starts building level 2 Maces.
I think he realizes no chance, especially being this far behind, to go into a stacking item. Hydra's Lament is a little bit outrageous of a purchase to buy right now, even though the CDR does complement the Jotun's Wrath. I think it's just better off, hey, Titan's Bane. Brawler's Beat Stick, something with more pen. We need more damage online now instead of relying on the stacking capabilities later. So he might use that later on to finish something, but for right now, it's let's get Mace too.
Well, pressure in mid lane from Paradigm here. They're just going to try and backdoor this tower for the most part. Rotations from both teams coming out. Azalea and Snakeskin did come over here to try and support this one. Tower will stand for now, but Paradigm at the moment in control of this game.
Full rotation. We have all 4 members of London Conspiracy and the Apollo lagging in the background. All 5 members of Paradigm were in the mid lane, but with Gold Fury circling and about to land at where it's supposed to be, this is going to shade Paradigm over on the left-hand side of the map, at least for a moment.
And with Azalea getting that tier 1 tower in the solo lane too. This is a good call.
Look at that. Paradigm shaded to the left-hand side, acting like they were going to pick up the Gold Fury as soon as it spawned. Sends London to the right-hand side, and now Paradigm is ready to fight. Arrow does get a stun out onto Lobster. Down comes Shaggy Shake. They're looking at the Jean Quay, but it doesn't matter. Lobster has already gotten a kill onto the Neath. Shaggy Shake sent packing by Cuvo Fred, and London Conspiracy is already backing. Paradigm is 5 members thick still. And they're going to turn onto the mid lane and look at this tower.
But they'll do Gold Fury at the same time here. Watch where Funball is going. He's already going to go and start that one off at the same time as mid tower goes down. Rest of the team happy to go aggressive here. I love the call from London Conspiracy, but I love the fact Paradigm realized what the hell Conspiracy were about to try and do to them when they went for that Gold Fury.
We've seen that a couple of times in this summer split where teams have gone for the Gold Fury and the response from the enemy team has been hit the Fire Giant. It's been an explosive play. Paradigm's watched this split as well.
Look at this though, the tier 2 tower is going to go down and Funball still doing the Gold Fury, going to get that one as well as the tower, just accelerating the gold lead after that little engagement over the Fire Giant.
Huge gold lead, 22 minutes in. We've got Paradigm leading by 13,500 gold. Experience also in our side, 18,000.
That whole fight, though, the Fire Giant, and Millsy went in with the Blink Cataclysm combo. They were looking for Lobster. Problem is that Millsy was just too far forward, and when he blinked in, his team couldn't get to him in time. Suntouch had to burn everything just to get in range with the Fear No Evil. And by that time, Lobster was already throwing out the ultimate to deal damage back to him, and the team collapsed and came in.
I mean, realistically, how do you deal with Paradigm's team comp, especially being this far behind? They have the front line. They have 3 front line, considering that Jean Quay at this point is so tanky. He does like an insane amount of damage, and being this far behind, there's not much London Conspiracy can actually do at this point.
I was just about to ask you, how do you fight the Jean Quay?
He can. I mean, Vamana has pretty much always been, since the beginning of his existence, the beginning of time, is like when he gets ahead and you don't have the team comp to support beating Vamana, that's it. Like, you just will eventually get squished out of existence.
I mean, the only hope I can see is like defend the Phoenixes, wait for the Hunters to hit full build, and maybe
that's
get
the
a good
dream.
engagement.
You
Is that
need
the dream?
both Hunters full build, being able to deal with that. But at this point, I don't even think Zalia is even worried about that. He just got Odyssey Bow.
He does that all the time, though. He loves that item. He convinced Funballer for a long time to go into it as well. Funballer started picking that one up as well. Like, Zalia convinced me. It is a good item. It works well, especially if you get focused out in a team fight. It does, especially when the lightning goes. Like, it's like a mini Zeus the whole time, right?
Oh yeah, and he still hasn't even gotten a second active, so showing. I mean, for all purposes, that could be an enfeebling curse to definitely shut down the Hunters.
Funball just soloing the Fire Giant.
I mean, when you're this far ahead at this point, there's not much. London Conspiracy, they are not even in position, and this looks like a free Fire Giant to Paradigm, and that should be curtains. I mean, right at this point, they can just push any Phoenix. They have the front line to complement the dive, and really, Shaggy Shen's split push, I don't think it's going to be enough.
Zelia did that largely by himself. Just kept the entire enemy team away from their secret Fire Giant.
Baby.
London Conspiracy could not pass the baby. And with that, Paradigm is going to take 5 Fire Giant belts down the right-hand side of the lane. And look at the Phoenix. Zelia, zoning,
Sprint 3 is online.
zoning, accidental kill, zoning, accidental kill. That's what you're getting out of this Romana.
I mean, with Execution and Odyssey Bow, that's pretty much, at this point, guaranteed. But Shaggy Shen's actually going
gonna
for
get
a
Phoenix. He will get the Phoenix there, but meanwhile in mid lane, Paradigm going to swing round and swing for the second Phoenix here. Now it's Tricksank's turn to zone and tank up this Phoenix, as that one is now going to fall to the wayside too. And Paradigm may take game 1 here, but don't forget, if London Conspiracy can win the next game, even if this one does go against them, they can still force a tiebreaker.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, they're just trying to take every single objective on the map. And Shaggy Shank actually backed. He decided to not go for, he can't really end the game. There's too many towers up, and
just chill.
Wow.
He's the king of the jungle.
He really wants to come back to LAN.
He's the king of the jungle.
In fairness, talking to the Paradigm boys after the LAN they came to last time and went 0-3, they weren't happy.
Blink in from Tricksank, really looking to secure that one. Stuns a whole bunch of people, but more importantly, pushes them away. Evo Fred trying to find some sort of damage on the backside as the rest of his team takes out the left-hand Phoenix. All 3 Phoenixes for London Conspiracy are now down for the count. The only one that Shaggy Shank was able to get during his split push was the left-hand side. So Paradigm lead this game by a whole bunch of stats, but more importantly, 3 Phoenixes.
This is just a quick back to base, finish off those items, get the last little bits available, come on, and try and end the game off.
Well, especially when you're this far ahead, it is no rush. Just take everything. You can't take anything for granted. You want to make sure everything's done very precisely, no mistakes.
I feel like it's easier in this position when you're this far ahead. It's easier to make a mistake than win.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, it also depends on your team comp, especially, too. But, like, with this many front line and this much damage being output, the biggest mistake would be, like, let's say Cuvo Fred gets picked. Let's say Lobster prematurely ults, he doesn't have stacks on his passive. Like, those would be the huge mistakes that London Conspiracy can capitalize on. But with the way they're playing right now, I want to say they're going to land.
So
wait. Game 2 then. Game 2. What would you change as Conspiracy here? Was it picks and bans you feel went against them, or was it just like how the early game went?
I mean, the early game, they picked Neath into Vamana just to make sure that, hey, you know, not only is, it's gonna be double Hunter against, you know, frontline, but Zayla got first blood.
Personally, I think I wanted to see more out of the Hun Bats. We just did not see the type of impact that this character and this character's ultimate Fear No Evil can really impose on the enemy team a lot of the time. So because of a lot of that, and to be fair, I think that was more Paradigm executing and getting the right thoughts in London's head than Suntouch just misplaying. I think a lot of it was on the side of Paradigm.
Well, it's intimidation. It's also, you got to remember how much is on the line. People change their play styles. People play differently depending on aggression and how much is on the line.
This is the last offensive set for London Conspiracy. If they're able to push Paradigm out of here, they will be able to survive just a little bit longer. Great setup, but the damage just a little too strong coming out from the newly crowned Paradigm, and they'll take game 1 of this very important 2-game set.
Very, very important. And if Paradigm can win this one, they will be the ones to face off against Cloud9 at the LAN, which is one of those games I really look forward to seeing is Paradigm versus